Hi, this is Tim from Camas Bike and Sport here in Camas, Washington, and this is how to change a road bike tire. The materials you'll need for this is a floor pump or an air compressor, depending on how much work you want to do, and a pair of tire levers in case the tire is a bit rough in coming off the wheel, and of course your tire and inner tube that you want to put on your wheel. So we have this road bike wheel, and we want to change the tire for whatever reason. If you've got a flat, change into your road bike racing tires, or if it's just that time of season to true your wheel, or if you need to replace a spoke, you also need to remove the tire. First thing we're going to do is let the air out. It tends to go pretty quick because there isn't much volume in there. What you want to do is kind of press on the tire and make sure you force out as much air as you can. Close the valve off so it can't suck any more air back in. Now what we want to do is try to push the bead of the tire into the center of the rim, because the center of the rim has got a smaller diameter, and when you pull on the other side of the tire up here and kind of work that bead into the center of the wheel, what you'll find is you'll get a lot of extra slack, and this is where most of the time you don't need to use tire tools. Grabbing this piece that's loose, now you can just pull it over the rim, and then at this point you can use your tire tool and just run it around the bead. You don't want to do this with your fingers, especially with older gum wall tires, because they tend to cut you, and then the cuts are much like a ceramic cut and they're very painful. Once you've got this one side off, now the other side is going to want to just come right off. And if it doesn't, you can work around the bead, work the bead out of the rim wall and into the center of the rim. And now we can just remove the whole tire and tube together. So we can set our wheel aside here. And now we've got the tire swap out for whatever tire you want to put on. Now we just want to get the direction right. If there's stickers on it, those stickers go on the right side of the wheel. They always are on the drive side, just to make sure there isn't any over here. Most tires do have a rotation direction arrow as well. It'll let you know which direction to put the tire back on. I always like to line the valve up with a sticker, just so it's consistent with the other wheel. Then when you want to put it on, make sure you get your gears on the right side, find the valve hole, and put the valve in first, and one side of the tire. Leave the other side off. And now working around the tire, you just want to slip that side of the tire on like this, making sure that it wants to go on. And now we've got one side. This is where you want to check and make sure the inner tube isn't stuck in between the tire and the rim. So I just go around, and it looks like it's pretty clean. There's no inner tube. And now what we want to do is put the other side of the tire on. So we're going to start at the valve, push the valve in if it gets stuck. Push around, putting the tire on evenly. You get to the top, and the top will want to fold over and go on just like that. Some tires you may have to get the tire tool in there and pry the tire on. And then you can always check, make sure you don't have inner tubes stuck in between the tire and the rim, because you'll get a flat pretty much instantly. Then from there, we should go ahead and inflate it just a little bit, just to make sure that the tire bead is sitting evenly around the rim. If you've got a low spot, somewhere else is going to be a high spot, and that high spot could blow off the rim, and it could be a very loud explosion if you put a lot of pressure in. So we'll just take our trusty 100 PSI air compressor, put a little air in it, just check around both sides, make sure that we've got an even bead. And it looks like we're pretty good on that side. Flip the wheel over, look on that side's pretty good. And now you can take your trusty floor pump or air compressor and put it all the way up to pressure. I like to run 100 PSI. Take my adapter off, and your tire has just been changed. This ring right here that I'm installing is just to make sure the valve doesn't rattle around and drive you crazy on a rough road. A little protective cap, and that's it. I'm Tim, and that's how to change a road bike tire.